Something is wrong at Hendrick Motorsports. And Kevin Harvick just said it out loud. The 2014 Cup champion has watched Kyle Larson closely all year, and he is not buying any of the excuses. Harvick sees a pattern. He sees mistakes that should not be happening. And he just sent a huge warning straight to Rick Hendrick and the whole four-car team. This is not about one bad race. This is about a champion team losing its edge. And what Harvick said next is going to shake the whole garage. Let's start with Kyle Larson. Last week at Atlanta, Larson finished 34th in the Quaker State 400. His winless streak is now at 44 races. That is almost a full year without a trip to victory lane. For a driver who won the Cup title in 2025, that is a shock to everyone in the sport. But here is the wild part. If you only look at the points, Larson looks fine. He is 6th in the standings, and he has scored more stage points than any other driver in NASCAR. Harvick broke it all down on his Happy Hour podcast, and he could not hide how strange it looked. Well, it's really confusing because if I look at the points and I would tell you that Kyle Larson is 6th, Harvick said, and would any of you believe that he scored the most stage points? That's why they're 6th. He scored 69. The next guy is Ryan Blaney at 57. So, on paper, Larson is doing great. He is beating everyone in stages. But that is where the good news ends. Because Harvick is not worried about the numbers. He is worried about something much deeper. So as much as we want to talk about Kyle Larson being off, which he's off, he hasn't been to victory lane in 40-some races, Harvick said. I think that, this accident right here is just a checkup, not of his doing, but the other accident where he just kind of cleared himself and wrecked himself. That right there is the key. One wreck was not Larson's fault at all. Another one was fully on him. And that self-inflicted damage is what has Harvick really concerned about the road ahead. Harvick believes the real problem is not the lack of wins. It is how Larson is not winning. It is the mistakes. It is the lapses in focus. It is a driver who used to be untouchable now making moves he never used to make when he was on top of the sport. We've seen that a few times over the last little bit, Harvick said. And that's the part that concerns me, is when you just have those lapses in concentration and just make a bad move because you don't have the moments where you're able to just go out and win a couple more races to make up for the mistakes that you had made. Think about that for a second. In the past, Larson could crash on Sunday and win the next week. That covered up his mistakes. It made everything fine. Now, the wins are not there, so every little slip stands out big, and Harvick is not sure why it is happening. So, I don't know whether to take the mistake this weekend with the block as, hey, he's desperate trying to make a move, or a lapse in concentration and made a mistake, Harvick said. Is Larson pressing too hard because this streak is in his head, or has his focus dropped off a cliff? Harvick does not know, and that is what makes it so scary for Hendrick Motorsports fans. That's the confusing part because you look at the stats and they're not that bad in scoring the most stage points, but it's the goose egg in the win column, Harvick said. That is the part that's hard to believe. Now, here is where Harvick's warning gets much bigger. This is not just a Kyle Larson problem. This is a full Hendrick Motorsports problem, and Harvick laid the whole thing out on the Speed podcast in a way nobody has yet. Hendrick has 4 cars: Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Alex Bowman. That is one of the strongest lineups in the sport, but in 21 races this year, HMS has just 2 wins. Both of them came from Chase Elliott. That is it, 2 wins out of a possible 84 starts across the team. Meanwhile, Larson has led 637 laps this season. Only Denny Hamlin has led more laps in 2026. Larson is out front all the time. He just cannot close the deal when it matters. I haven't watched a race where I'm like Kyle Larson is just like kicking their axe today, Harvick said. I think that's the part that has been really, and that's the expectations they have. That quote hits hard, because the whole reason Larson signed that big deal was to dominate the field, to bully everyone, to be the guy who wins 10 races a year. And Harvick is telling you flat out he has not seen it, not one single time this whole year. Then came North Wilkesboro, and it might have been the lowest point of the entire HMS season so far. Not a single Hendrick Chevrolet finished in the top 10. Not one. William Byron was the best of the group in 12th. Larson finished 15th. Chase Elliott came home 17th. Alex Bowman got caught up in something and ended the night in 26th. Even worse for Elliott, he lost his in-season challenge semifinal to Todd Gilliland, who then moved on to the finals. 4 cars, 0 top 10s. At a short track, that is a race that should never happen to Hendrick Motorsports. Not with that driver lineup, not with that history, not with that money. So, what is going on? Harvick did not just guess. He gave a real answer that came straight from inside the shop, and it starts with the race car itself. I think when they designed this new race car, on paper, it looked like it had more downforce, less drag, and then the rules changed, Harvick said. I think that balance that they're looking for in the race car, they just haven't figured it out. That is the whole problem right there. HMS built their car for one set of rules. Then NASCAR changed the package for different tracks, and now the balance is completely off. The car does not do what they built it to do. It is fighting the driver every lap. And this is not Harvick guessing from the outside looking in. He said this information came straight from inside the shop from the top people. This is from them, not us speculating, Harvick said. This is from Jeff Andrews, GM and President, HMS, and the drivers and all the people at Hendrick Motorsports to be able to get the race car so it's drivable every week. Stop and really think about what that means. Jeff Andrews is the president of Hendrick Motorsports, and their goal right now is just to make the car drivable every week. Not to win, not to dominate the field, just to drive it without fighting it. For the team that has won 14 Cup championships, that is a really scary bar to be aiming at. Still, Harvick is not writing anyone off yet. He made that part very clear at the end. I don't know. I think that Kyle Larson is still great. I think that Cliff Daniels is still great. I think Hendrick Motorsports is still great, but they've been off a little bit this year compared to the bar that we've set for them, Harvick said. Oh, it's career ending. No. And because it happens, it's happened to me. It's just part of what you go through in NASCAR racing. And the only part that worries me about Larson is just those random weird kind of mistakes that shouldn't happen at this point with where he's at. But time is running out fast. The chase is coming. And if HMS cannot fix the balance in that car, this whole thing is going to get ugly. Larson can outdrive the mistakes for only so long. HMS can lean on their history for only so long. But talent alone will not win a title if the car will not cooperate on Sunday. Kevin Harvick just told Rick Hendrick what everybody has been thinking. The clock is ticking on Hendrick Motorsports, and Kevin Harvick's words are hanging over the whole shop. Kyle Larson is still one of the best wheelmen on the planet, but great drivers do not throw dumb blocks and wreck themselves. Rick Hendrick has the money, the people, and the history to fix this. The real question is whether he has the time. Because the chase is right around the corner, and right now HMS is not chasing wins. They are chasing a car that will just drive straight. And that is not what a champion team is supposed to sound like.